slight adjustment for Czechia. This big line has taken Adam Zielinski off it and moved on Jakub Dvořák. Trying to spread the offense around a little bit. But Petr and Shala are the two guys that drive the offense for this Czech team. As the puck skips by Junkari and back to center ice, and this is Aaron Kiviharju. Kiviharju has been terrific in this tournament. The 16-year-old defenseman, not eligible for the draft until 2024. Leads their team in points and has been a steadying force on the blue line.
Steady, poised, calm, all the elements that you like to see in a defenseman, and lots of things can be going around him and looks busy. He never looks rushed. He never looks like he's in a panic situation. He makes this.
Shala works in. Shala holds it back in, but oh, what a stop there by Vinny. Point blank on Jakub Dvořák. Dvorak back forth to this top line once again, pressuring for Czechia.
Shala and Petr seem to be in the middle of just about 2/3 at least of the scoring chances and goals that Czechia score and generate.
Kangas plays it back in as Dvorak goes back and takes a bump. Loose in the corner is Kiskinen, couldn't get a shot away. Brought back out. Fabry for the face-off, but it's won away by Tom Lepa, who turned 17 on the opening day of this tournament. This tournament is open to players born in 2005 or later. Those born before September 15th, 2005 are eligible for next year's draft. If you were born after September 15th, you wait a year. And Finland also has a number of 2006 birthdays on this team that'll be automatic for 2024. Busting in is Lynn now with a shot, and Ani Lynn has that block. Haltinen plays that back, and then blocks up at Mullinen. It is stopped there by Rabo. Mullinen back to Pietaniemi, and that long shot kicked out by Rabo, a 6'6" goaltender. What the Czechs haven't had in international hockey at the senior men's level is
efficient.
That's timing. Now that said, if he'd allowed a goal and the Czechs hadn't scored, he'd have taken the loss, which would have been that. Played back by Feltzman. That long point shot drifts wide from Matejček. Dvorak tried to bank that ahead. And here's Jakub Dvorak playing it back to center ice, picked up there by Emo Pietaniemi. Feltzman scored that goal short-handed against the Swedes to cut the lead to 3-2. Haltinen works in. You just get the sense with Haltinen, Craig, that as Alessandro tries to center it, that when things don't go your way early on, it can snowball. There's so much pressure on these players. There's so many scouts, GMs, player personnel directors here. And he's very competitive. You can see that in him. But right from the hop, he got frustrated. Slamming his stick on the ice, slamming doors at the bench.
Well, and then you try to do too much, right? And you get out of your game. And I mean, we see that happen at the National Hockey League level. Now you're talking about younger players, as you point out, the different pressures and the spotlight.
Here he comes now. Haltinen shoots. He could really. First one, nearly a minute for the second one. Nothing.
And in a semifinal match where it's so important.
In comes Petr, shoots. They scored their
later in the game and not much better.
Dvorak sets it up for Petr. Dominic Petr tries that backdoor pass. It's broken up. Petr gets it right back to Dvorak. Back for Petr. Petr swings it back to Dvorak for Petr. Walks in, holds, trying to feed that rink wide. Shala shoots. That's blocked. Gets it right back. Shala had that block by Väisänen. Walks in and tries again. Flips it across to Petr. Dominic Petr has a look. Feeds it back to Dvorak. A shot that flutters wide. Goes by Shala. Back down. Now a race for it. As jumping in is Lepa, shorthanded. Lepa from a sharp angle throws that towards the goal, and that's turned away easily. Here's Dvorak back with it. Dvorak for Shala. In for Petter. Petter. Rink wide to Shala. Back for Petter. Petter in, shoots, and a glove. However, the individual stats remain. So Connor Bedard's 4-goal game against Austria still stands. Not in this tournament scoring record, but in the record book itself. Owen Power's hat trick. Kavaharju, a long shot that deflects wide.
USA lost to Finland in a pre-competition game on Friday, 5-2.
Canada will play Sweden on Monday night in Edmonton at 5 o'clock local time. Kavaharju plays that back. And here is Kiskinen. Chips that ahead to Thomas Hunternen. And Hunternen goes after it. Swatted back in by Kiskinen. Back in the corner is Nurmi. Kavaharju, nifty move, walks right in, shoots, scores!
I'm going to put myself in a vulnerable position. That is a hard quality to have. I'm going to go back way in time.
Okay.
I knew him pretty well, and people won't, but he's a Hall of Famer. And maybe a similar stature, J.C. Trombley.
Wow, you're really hardcore, okay. Shot hammered wide.
Well, what I'd like you to do is talk to somebody that would know him very well, Mr. Scotty Bowman.
Okay.
And, you know, just when you watch, I mean, JC was just an unbelievable, brilliant player. I mean, just the puck was on his stick, right plays were made everywhere all the time.
Kavaharju is listed at 5'9", 165 pounds.
I was lucky early on in scouting when I started in Europe, and I got to spend a lot of time with J.C. Trombley. And I'll tell you what, it was a lesson in defenseman.
In comes Šimek with a chance.
Talking to the coaches, you know, what does he do when he gets frustrated? How does he handle it? Those are all the things that scouts are trying to determine and ascertain.
And you have to know, in a tournament like this, the players are paying attention to who's rising, who's falling. You know who's jumping up, who's scoring a lot, you're aware of what your rivals are doing, whether they're your direct rivals or not.
Well, I mean, Gordon, I'm a firm, strong believer that when you're 8 years old playing on the outdoor rinks or whatever, everybody knows who the best player is. Everybody knows who's good. You know where you sit.
A little backhand shot put wide by Kapalainen.
It's no different coming to this tournament. They look, they go, okay, that's a good player.
Shala here in this tournament. Whenever he's on the ice, something happens. Shala, who has played in the Czech Extra League, the top men's league this year, a little bit for Kometa Brno in his hometown of Brno, which is quite a nice place.
It is.
Folks, have you got a chance to go? The time winds.
That space, and that space is his. All the things that you want in a top-end offensive player Edward Shala possesses.
Stancil works in. The teams begin this period 5-on-5, and Stancil shot kicked away by Emil Vinny. It's the bronze medal game. Later to come, the gold medal game between Canada and Sweden at 4 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock Eastern. Canada did not play in this tournament last year. There was no tournament in 2020 due to COVID. As Järventie works in, and he's poke check there. And a good defensive play by Matejček. Petter slides it back. Kavaharju picks it back up for Saralainen.
Here's Kavaharju again. He knows where his release valve is. Going one way, pulls everybody there, and just slides it back the other way. You're out of your zone.
Matejček. So during the national team breaks, there's 4 of them during the season. These under-18 teams take part in tournaments, also take part in domestic tournaments throughout the year. And so these 2 coaches are full-time under-18 coaches. Now a quick chance there, and Börnen put that wide.
Well, the international break occurs in early September, which is really kind of a preseason, November, February. And that's where they shut down their leagues, and everybody at all levels goes and participates in international competition.
Christmas too? I think there's
Christmas as well. Yes, sorry.
That's the 4th.
Yeah, that.
That pass gets by Muhonen and back down to the finish zone.
U17, U18.
On top for the second time.
And that's what you want to see from Halttunen. That's what I'd like to see. If I had to describe his game, the power of his game has to come before the skill of his game. The skill will follow the power.
Shala chops that back in front. Petter couldn't quite reach it. And it's poked ahead by Kukas.
And I'm not talking about running over people. I'm talking about using that size to gain advantages. But when you're a player and now you're just going to try to play a skilled game, your size doesn't become an advantage. Those are the things you got to balance out. Players have to understand it. Coaching is ongoing.
In comes Kiskinen with it. And Dominic Petter rides him off the puck. Kumpalainen flips that back in for Kiskinen. Jesse Kiskinen to Junkari. And Kumpalainen plays it back in for the Finns. Kivaharju drops it back, and that hard shot. In comes Dominic Petter. Petter works it back in front. That backhand shot turned away.
If they knew what and they believed in Vasilevsky, don't get me wrong, but if they knew.
Off the face-off, here's Dvorak poking it ahead. Jakub Dvorak going to move that down to Kuchera. Rolls back down to the finish.
Lettinen, yeah. Sasha Barkov. No, Sasha played in top of it. Sorry about that. Mikko Koivu.
Kiskinen works in. Hunterman back with it. Kuchera pokes at that, trying to knock it free. And finally moved out by Matejchuk.
TPS Turku coached in Kloten. Swiss League coached Moscow Dynamo. Great players over time, Olympic teams. But we were, Dallas, we were trying to, Jere Lettinen was playing there. We'd already drafted him.
Shabby works in, gets a step, but it's dropped back and picked up by Kumpalainen.
But we were trying to convince Hanno Virta to come back to the NHL. Come back and play defense. We thought he left a little bit young and could help our team in Dallas. European teams that come over here, they played 5 games in 7 days now.
Yeah.
Czechia and Finland. Now they're young kids that are not quite at a stage of physical maturity where they, you know, have the reserves to get through that type of a grind.
They also haven't played on this sized ice surface for the most part before.
They're a little bit more demanding. Not to mention a little more physical.
Kitaniemi snaps that pass ahead. And Kivaharju's out there now. Takes the pass from Halttunen. Kivaharju centers it. The pass got away from Yrjönä. Halttunen works it back to Järventie. Crisscrossing with Kivaharju. Kivaharju back to Järventie. Järventie back down the centering pass. That's tapped wide by Yrjönä. They had it set right up. Yrjönä missed the net. Kivaharju works back in and holds. Feeds across. Järventie tries to swing that back across, but getting a stick on that was Kuchera. Järventie. Kivaharju back to Järventie. Shoots, hit a leg in front, still loose. Yrjönä reaching for it. And Ravel down. Swept the puck away. Now Halttunen back with it. Halttunen. Back to Kivaharju. Kivaharju. Being watched there by Sprinar. Kivaharju works it and fires. That's a long shot taken by Kukas. .3:15 to go in the second period of the bronze medal game. Finland a 2-1 lead on Czechia. Finns led 1-0 in the first. Czechs tied it up late. Finns have regained the lead here in the second period, and the goal by Arttu Alasira. Angus knocks that down as Shabby gets in behind him. Adam Shabby. They could stop doing that anytime.
Banging on the glass down low. Minds, great hands, and they'd be playing a one-on-one, and all of a sudden you wouldn't have the puck anymore, and you'd be wondering what happened. Where did that puck go?
And why was it 100 feet up the ice? Alisura moves it on Matejček, and final minute now of the second period. Alisura. Goals in back-to-back games for him now. Alisura tries the wrap around. He was poke checked there by Petter. Lead pass for Shala, who has the Czech goal. And Dvorak goes back. Kunin stepped into him. Stancil waiting for it. And Stancil bounces ahead. Shala goes looking for it, but it's knocked away from him. And here's Järventie back with it. One lead heading into the third period. The teams are 5-on-5. The first ever medal round meeting between these two countries at this tournament. Won the tournament in 2016. You mentioned that Martin Necas, the terrific Carolina Hurricane, was the captain of that team. Czechs won back-to-back gold medals at the World Junior in 2000 and 2001. Won a bronze in 2005, but it's been feathers since then. Stancil has that shot blocked, broke his stick, and now Kiskinen brings it back. In comes Kiskinen, looking for Järventie, centers a bouncing puck in front, and Alisura couldn't quite reach it. In comes tries to pull that free, and Järventie plays that back. Mahonen plays it back in. Dvorak back to pick it up. Jakub Dvorak fans on that pass, gathers it back up. Brings it around for Adamek, but it's picked off by Alisura. Feltzman works in. Try to center it now. Matejček with a... Well, they're crosstown rivalry with IFK Helsinki. And IFK is undertaking an ambitious arena project. The ice hall in Helsinki, their home for the last half century, is getting tired. They want to build a new one, but as Kapanen plays it back. But land is at a premium in Helsinki. Getting ready along with the Swedes. Tight quarters here in Red Deer, but all 8 teams housed here in the building. Pretty impressive, actually.
It really is. And the Red Deer Rebels play here. They have concerts here. The Scotties curling tournament has been here, and lots of events.
Imaharu plays it ahead. Mahonen lost that puck, and here's Matejček. Has that knocked away. Dvorak back on it. Dvorak banks it off the sideboards, and it's knocked back to Mahonen.
Right here behind you.
Ironen swings that back. Carolina tried to knock that free. Sprinar couldn't reach it. IHF under-18 tournament next spring. That long shot got through, and it's handled by Rabel. Where is that tournament next spring?
I think it's in Switzerland.
Yeah, so I think
I think it's in Switzerland. Not sure of the exact one, but I think the country is Switzerland.
Can't go wrong there.
No, you can't. Literally and figuratively.
They were just awarded the World Championship for 2026.
I remember the last time the U18 tournament was in Switzerland. It was also when Connor McDavid was entering the draft in 2015, and so we were staying tournament was in Zug. Everybody was in the lottery was coming along. I remember we were at the rink. Benoit Trudeau, just one of the
Schala and company waiting for the face-off or the puck to go up the ice to get them back on. And there's Jakub Dvořák with it. He'll play most of the last 5.5 minutes here as Zidličky moves ahead. That was knocked down. Dvorak comes in, the plays off. Šimek knocks that free. The return pass chipped down the ice, but icing called, didn't touch it.
Denver Barkey have a similar stature and a similar look. So if it's Denver Barkey, I apologize, but first glimpse, I thought it was Zach Benson.
Shabby looking for Dvorak, who had jumped up for the Czechs. Yarvity plays it around, and Shabby back on it. Shabby drops it back. Dvorak finds him. Shabby holds, works it, and shoots. He looks at that wide, and he gets by Matejchuk and back down the ice. Dvorak's back out in defense, and the face-off one back to him. Jakub Dvořák. That shot hit the linesman. Dvorak back for Matejchuk. Feeds it back for Dvorak. A force to legs. He shoots. It goes off a skate. Bounces back to the corner. Kiskinen plays out ahead for Huttunen. And back to pick it up is Dvorak. 2:45 to go here in the third period. A 2-1 lead for Finland. Dvorak snaps that pass in for Šprinar. Matejchuk on it. For Czechia, 6 skaters on 5. Petter in for the face-off. One back, held by Stancil. Stancil plays it down to Šprinar. Down for Petter. Solid. Circling in the high slot, Šprinar. Back to Dvorak. Dvorak for Šprinar. Schala trying to find some space to go back to him. He shoots. That was blocked. As Kumpulainen got in the way. Here's Schala again. Back at the line, Dvorak. Jakub Dvořák fans on the shot, gets it back, moves it by Kiskinen. Šprinar has it picked off. Kiskinen shoots from the empty net. It goes off Dvorak back in the corner. That was deflected though, so no icing. Badinka got it back up. Stolen by Yrjänen. Yrjänen centers it. And the bouncing puck moved ahead to Petter. And the Czechs quickly counterattack. Lead pass for Schala. In he comes. Schala walks in and shoots. And there's Kivaharju. Or Kivaharju rather, back to knock it away. What a play by Kivaharju.
Yes, it is against the high-end player, Schala.
Inside a minute to go in the third period. Schala turns it over. Yrjänen's got it with some time. Gains the blue line and shoots. Misses the empty net. Icing waved off as Kiskinen.